This video will take you through step 1 of the Frere Jacques project, which is to complete the missing bars of the melody on the solo violin line. When you've accessed your project, it should open and look something like this. You can see that we have 4 tracks, and each of those tracks are named with a different instrument: solo violin, violin section, viola section, and string orchestra. In this video, we're just going to be focusing on the solo violin line at the top. As we go through this video as well, remember I'm going to say pause the video every so often and ask you to complete steps. Do make sure that you pause the video and complete the steps step by step so that you are staying on track and not getting behind and making mistakes. So, like I said, we are completing step 1 of the project in this video: complete the missing bars of the melody on the solo violin. So Frere Jacques is a melody which has lots of repetition. Each bar is repeated twice, and then moves on to a new bar, again 2-bar phrases with 1 bar being repeated twice. In the first bar here, we can hear the melody that we're all very familiar with. You can hear that the second bar has been left empty. So we are going to have to fill in the second bar to make it the same as the first. So to open the MIDI editor on this track, just double click on the region and we can see the MIDI editor or step sequencer or piano roll down here to show us the melody. The melody is quite simple. It's just 4 crotchets in the bar. So bar 1, beat 1, bar 1, beat 2, bar 1, beat 3, and bar 1, beat 4. We can see those 4 crotchets and we can see them following the contour, stepping up and then skipping back down to the original starting note. We're going to just copy in those 4 notes in bar 2, so making sure that we are not just overlapping those notes. We'll go here in bar 2, double click on the first beat of bar 2. Sorry, double click on the first beat of bar 2 and it's given us a note. In this case, it's given me a note which is too long. I want it to be just 1 beat long, and here's bar 2, this is beat 1, and bar 2, beat 2, so I can see that note is far too long. So I'm just going to go to the right hand side, click and drag it back in so that it ends on the second beat and fills up all of beat 1. That should be the last time I'll need to change the length for this bar at least, because now when I click on beat 2, noticing that this note here is on the note D. Oh, I've just clicked too low there. I'll drag it up, just drag it up and put it in the correct spot. Now it's on D, so I've got C, D, next note up is E on beat 3, and then finally on beat 4 of that bar, it needs to go back to the same C that it started on. So just using the mouse to double click in each one of those 4 notes. Remember, you'll have to adjust the length of the first note. So go ahead and pause the video now and complete that first step. If it's not clear, just rewind the video, listen again, pause and complete that first step. Complete bar 2 now. Okay, so now we should have 2 bars which sound exactly the same. Let's have a listen. Okay, so that sounds like Frere Jacques. The next bar, we're going to hear a different melody. Again, we'll need to repeat this. So this melody is heard in bar 3, and we need to copy it into bar 4. This melody starts on the note E, so I'm just going to follow across on that line there. Double click. Next note up is an F, so on this line here, double click. And then finally, the third note in the bar on beat 3 is a G, so up here. Now, on this note, I can see I'm being left with a gap on beat 4. This note is a minim and is 2 beats long, so it occupies all of those beats. So again, just adjusting the length by clicking on the right-hand side there, and this time lengthening it by going to the right, filling up all the way to the end of bar 4, right on the beginning of bar 5. Make sure your notes don't overlap there. Again, you're going to pause the video now and just make sure that you copy through those bars there. So we've got E, F and G. You'll need to put the 2 notes in and adjust the length of the 3rd note in the bar to fill up the bar. Go ahead and pause the video. Again, if it's not clear, just rewind the video, watch the instructions again and pause. You can take your time on this. Okay, so again, we should have 2 bars of exactly the same music, starting at bar 3. Starting at bar 5, we again have a new melody. And we need to, of course, copy that into bar 6 where it is missing. Okay, so this melody is a little bit different. It now is using quaver rhythms. So here, instead of having notes which occupy a full beat, we have notes which are occupying just half of the beat each. It starts on the note G, so we can see running across here on the very, very first beat of bar 6. Double click to put that note in. Now it's far too long at the moment. It's 4 boxes long as it's come in because the last time I adjusted a note length, it was to make it 2 beats over here. So I need to go to the right hand side of that note, click on it and drag it back in. But this time, rather than going to 1 beat, I'm going to go to just half a beat, which is just 1 of these boxes. Okay, so that has given me the correct note length. Now as I carry on with this step, it should give me the correct note length for the next 3 notes at least, here where we have these 3 quavers, okay? So I've got my G in, the next note is the A on the second half of beat 1. Then it steps back down to the G. Oh, and I can see I've made an error there, that is okay. I'll just click and drag that note up to the correct note. There we go, it's now in the correct spot. The next note is the F. There we go. And finally, to finish off the bar, I need 2 crotchets, an E and a C. So again, at this point, I will have to change the note value, but after I've put it in. So I'm going to put on beat 3 of bar 6, an E, this note here. See, it's too short, so I need it to be 1 beat long, which is 2 boxes. And the next note is a C. And that should go in at the correct value. Now, just to recap those steps, you'll need to put your first note in. Remember, it's going to come in quite long. Adjust the note length by clicking on the right-hand side and bring it back. Put in the remainder of those quavers there. Then on the 3rd beat of the bar, you'll need to switch it back to a crotchet by lengthening it again, and then finish it off with a C. Again, take your time on these steps. If that is not clear, rewind the video a couple of minutes and watch it again. Pause, complete the step before going on. You may pause the video now. Okay, we're up to the last little melody now, which is in bar 7 of the music, and it is this bar. So we just need to complete that. It's only got 3 notes in it. It starts on a C. So on the first beat of bar 8 here, I will double click on the note C. The last note in bar 7 is also a C, so we'll just quite conveniently double click there. Now we need to go down to a G. So if this is C, B, skip over the black notes, A, G. And finish it off by returning to a C on beat 3 of bar 8. Now this note again is too short. We want it to go all the way out through bar 8 to the start of bar 9. Make sure that it doesn't overlap the bar, just all the way up to bar 9. When you have done that, you should be able to hear your music. So pause the video here, and then we'll listen to the whole of Frere, Jacques. Okay, so here is how Frere Jacques should sound if we've got this correct. Have a listen to yours, compare it with that one and what you know of the song as well. And if you have any questions, just ask your teacher to provide feedback in the comments on BandLab. Remember to save your work as you are going, and if you have compared and contrasted your work there and it sounds correct, save your work now, and that will mean that you have completed step 1.